class bootloader is WinMGR latest versions WinMGR. One versus NTLDR. So every operating system has its own bootloader. Like in Linux, the Linux operating system bootloader is grep. So after loading the primary bootloader into memory, so primary bootloader is NVR. It runs the secondary bootloader. The secondary bootloader is grep. So grand unified bootloader. So after loading the grep into memory, it starts the kernel. So the kernel initializes itself. It loads all the modules. It runs the program /sp/init. So init means initialization program. Then it goes to init phase. So in this phase, the init program runs all the programs. It executes all the run level programs. Next run level. So in this run level programs, it executes the run control steps. So it shows the run control step location etc rc.d rc the particular run level.d. Then you can get your username and password. You can log into the system. So this is the compulsory question interview. What is the booting process of Linux? First BIOS phase. When you power on the system, BIOS will run. It loads the primary bootloader NVR into memory. After loading primary bootloader into memory, it loads the secondary bootloader grep into memory. After loading the grep into memory, it starts the kernel. So kernel initializes itself, it loads all the modules, start the program unit. Then unit 2 program runs all the run levels. So after running all the run levels, you can get a default run level, that is run level 5, we are going to discuss now. Then you can get a login screen, you can do username and password, log into the server. This is the booting process of RHL6. RHL7 booting process. This is also like same BIOS phase, NVR phase, grep, kernel. Here the difference is more run levels here. So it stores the targets. It executes system D demo. The system D demo executes the targets. The default target means default run level we are going to boot. Then you can get your login screen. So this is the booting process you are going to explain in interviews. BIOS phase, NVR phase, next grep, second order bootloader, next kernel will start, kernel will execute in the system. In RHL6 it starts system D. RHL7 it starts system D. RHL6 unit 2 programs it will execute. It goes to default run level in RHL6. It goes to default targeting RHL7. So this is the way the Linux operating system will boot. Now booting process in Linux. So just now we discussed about the processing learning.
Sir, audio is not clear, sir.
ఇప్పుడు క్లియర్ ఉన్నదా? Now it is clear?
No, sir, it is like it's not. Again, I have to log out and I have to log in, or what?
Just a minute. Now what is Raghunaranji? Voice clear ఉందా?
Sorry, sorry, sir.
Voice is clear now? Now the voice is clear? Then the voice is clear? Now check the voice is clear? Now check the voice. Mr. Ashok. Now check the voice is clear or not? When the voice is clear, not clear? Now check the voice, now clear? Now the voice is coming or not?
Sir, I'm not getting any audio, sir.
Not getting. Just a minute.
Hello.
Now we are getting. Now check the voice.
Sir, I'm not getting any audio, sir.
Then
I'm not getting any audio, sir. Hello.
now వినపడుతుంది.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, I'm not getting any audio, sir.
Showing fine. My side. Now check the audience. Now you have. So anyway, I will argue. So again, I'm going to argue. Now, is it working? Now, already there. Now, how do you want to go? Now check the voice. Narendra, now it clear?
Yeah. Now it is clear, sir. But video it is
Yeah, clear, sir.
Okay.
now it is clear, sir.
Okay. Now we are going to discuss about run levels. So what is run level?
Sir, video it is not coming, sir. Training in
Yeah, we are
progress
not able
only.
to see the system.
Is not showing. Just a minute. I will show the screen.
ఇప్పుడు చూసా పబ్జి ఆడుతానే గేమ్ లేకపోతే
So screen is not showing.
Not showing, sir.
Just a minute. నేను లాగౌట్ లాగిన్ అయ్యాను, మళ్ళీ స్క్రీన్ కనపట్లేదు, ఒకసారి చూస్తారా? ఓకే.
Sir, we should leave the session and again we have to log in or what?
Just a minute. I am going to share you.
Yeah, now the screen
Now
is
we are
there.
able to.
Now we are able to see.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, sir.
So what is run level? A run level is a software program under which a group of processes and services are exists. We have total 7 run levels in Linux. Init 0, shut down the system. Init 1, single user mode.
By default, Linux is multi-user mode. You can work with single user mode also. Need to multi-user mode. No NFS. NFS means network file system. Unit 3 full text mode. So really in real-time scenarios, we are going to work with Unit 3 full text mode. We are not going to get any graphical modes. Unit 4 unused. Unit 5 GUI graphical user interface. Unit 6 restart. So these are the run levels in Linux. Unit 0 shut down the system. Unit 1 single user mode. Unit 2 multi-user mode but no NFS. Unit 3 full text mode. So real-time scenarios we are going to work in Unit 3 only, full text mode. Unit 4 unused. There is no appropriate programs will start and stop in this run level. Unit 5 is a graphical user interface. Unit 6 is the restarting the system. So when you want to shut down the Linux, you can use the commands unit 0, shut down the system. If you want to restart, you can type the command unit 6. Next, to check the current run level of the system, command is who space -r. To check the current run level of the system, command is who space -r. So we are in the run level 5. Run level 5 is the graphical user interface. So now we are in run level 5. And another command is there, run level. So n means now 5. So run level 5 means graphical user interface. So to check the current run level of the system, command is who space -r. And another command is run level. Now switching into run levels, you can switch into different run levels. Now I am switching into run level 3. Switch into run level 3, command is init space 3. Switch into run level 3, command is init space 3. So unit 3 is full text mode. Now I am entering into text mode. Here give the username, give the password. Now check the run level who space -r. We are in the run level 3. Our last run level is 5. Current run level is 3, last run level is 5. Like this, we can switch from one run level to another run level. Again, I am switching into run level 2. See, whenever you are switching from one run level to another run level, some services will stop, some services will start. See here, I am switching into run level 2, stopping. Some services will stop, starting. Some services will start. Now again, I am switching into run level 5. Run level 5 is the graphical mode. So if you install the Linux operating system into text mode, you can get only text mode. So if you install Linux operating system in graphical mode, you can go to graphical mode as well as you can work with the text mode. Now we are entering into run level 5. See, when we switch from one run level to another run level, some services will start, some services will stop. So how it is possible means because of the background, we are going to run some automatically the system will run control script files. So each run level has its own script files. Then the run control script files location is go to cd/etc rc.d, give the command ls. Here you can see rc0.d, rc1.d, 2.d, 3.d, 4.d, 5.d, 6.d. So just now we discussed about run levels. Init 0 files are located under rc0.d. Init 1 files are located under rc1.d. Init 2, for every run level there is a separate directory to store the run control script files. Now I want to check the run control script files of run level 3. Go to cd space rc3.d. Which run level files you want to check, go to the particular directory, give the command ls, it shows the files. Now see, these are the script files. So starting with the capital K files are killing scripts. Starting with the capital S files are startup scripts. So when you power on the system will boot, all the services will start. Then startup scripts will run. When you shut down the system, all the services will stop. Then killing scripts will run. So starting with the capital K files are killing scripts. Starting with the capital S files are startup scripts. So in some scenarios, in interview they will ask the question. For example, I have a script Bluetooth, but my server is database server. This Bluetooth is not useful for me, but while booting the system, it is taking some more time to boot the operating system. So whatever the unnecessary services are there, I don't want to run those services at the time of booting. So how to stop those services permanently? So starting with the capital files are startup scripts. So what I am doing here, I renamed the file from capital S to small s. Then it will not read the script at the time of booting. This Bluetooth service will not run at the time of booting. Like that, whenever you want to stop any script permanently, you have to rename it from capital S to small s. This is, remember, interview point of view, they will ask how to stop the service permanently. Just you have to tell, rename the service from capital S to small s. So when you require that service, again you can rename from small s to capital S. So to rename the file, we have the command mv. So this is the thing you have to remember entry point of view, how to stop the service permanently. Rename the file from capital S to small s. So starting with the capital K files are killing scripts. Starting with the capital S files are startup scripts. So to change the default run level, open the file va/etc/init tab. To change the default run level of the system, open the file va/etc/init tab. Go to last line, escape shift G. Here you can check init default. Default is 5. 5 means graphical mode. So if you want to boot your operating system in text mode, you can change the run level into 3. So always it will boot into run level 3. So when you install Linux operating system in graphical mode, your default run level is 5. When you install your Linux operating system in text mode, your default run level is 3. 3 is text mode, 5 is graphical mode. To change the run level, default run level, open the file va/etc/init tab file. go to last line. There you can change the run level. Then again we are going to etc rc.d directory. Here you have some files are there. Now go to same directory rc3.d or 2.d, whatever it may be. You can give the command ls space -l. It shows all the script files. So where they are located. See, each and every file is connected to init.d directory. You can check here. Links you can check. Init.d, 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 init.d. So in Linux, all the services are located under etc init.d directory. These notes we have tried. In Linux, all the services are located in /etc/init.d directory. All the run control script files are linked with the init.d directory. If you want to run your own scripts, we can write the script in /etc/init.d directory and link with the particular run level. So any script, if you want to write your own scripts, when you boot into the server, in particular run level, whatever the script you want to run, just you have to go to init.d directory. There write the script, maybe start the database, stop the database, whatever it may be. The scripts will given by the developers. So they want to run in particular run level, or they want to stop in particular run level. So as an administrator, you have to write the scripts in init.d directory and will link with the particular run level. Now write down how to write and run the script in particular run level. How to write and run the script in particular run level. Now go to cd/etc/init.d directory. Here open one file. You can give any name. I given the name user file name. Go to etc init.d directory, open one file. Here simply I am writing a script. Script means any Unix command you can write. User add. Username Khan. So this is the command to create the user account in Linux. Open one file. Write down the command user add space username. In real-time scenarios, if they will give any script, we have to type the script here. So for example purpose, I am taking user command. So write down user space username, save the file. So when you want to execute the file, you have to change the permissions. Chmod 755, add execute permission. Default permissions of a file is 644. So add execute permission. One is execute 644 plus 111 755. Give the execute permissions on this file. So initial step is any script you have to write in init.d directory. Then in which run level you want to run, go to the particular directory. etc rc.d. Here in which run level you want to run, go to the particular run level. For example, rc3.d. I want to run the script in this run level. So when the system is entering to run level 3, it will run. Go to cd rc3.d, then link soft link ln-s, where the file is located under etc init.d directory. File name is user. Give the link name. Start with capital S. It is must. 100 is the service number. You can give any number. Give the name. So ln space -s space /etc/init.d /user. So where the file is located, give that path first, then give the link name. It must be start with capital S. Enter. So now check the users. Cat space /etc/passwd. In Linux, all the users information located in this file. If you want to see the users in Linux, you can check the file cat space /etc/passwd. Now see, at the time of installation, we created one user account test. But now I written one script to user add Khan. So this script will be run when you switch into run level 3. Now switch into run level 3, check the file. Automatically user Khan is going to be create. If it is not created, maybe the error in our script, we written a wrong script. Now switch into run level 3. Init space 3. Now check the file. Cat space /etc/passwd. So automatically Khan user is created here because we written one script. When I switch into run level 3, automatically the script will run. Check the file cat space /etc/passwd. Here see, Khan user is created. See, user Khan automatically created. Like this, in real-time scenarios, whatever the scripts you want to run, you have to write the script under etc init.d directory. Then in which run level you want to run, go to the particular run control script directory. There link your file. Automatically when we enter into the particular run level, these scripts will run. Now I am switching into run level 5. See, Khan is created here. Login as root user. Now go to etc rc.d directory. Here see we have two files, rc.sys init file and rc.local file. In interest, they will ask about the questions of these two files. Now rc.sys init file in Linux. This file executes one time at the time of booting. It has executable files, init executable files. Next, rc.local file, the administrator can write his own scripts. In this file, it runs after execution of rc.sysinit file. So these two files they will ask in interview, rc.sysinit. What is the file rc.sysinit? This file executes one time at the time of booting. It has init executable files. What is rc.local file? As a system administrator can write his own scripts in this file. This file runs after execution of rc.sysinit file. We have to remember these two files.
Sir, administrator can write in rc.sys init.
rc.sysinit is system initialization file, that is by default. So I will show you the file vi rc.sysinit. I am open the file. See, automatically all the script is written here. This is system executable. We cannot disturb this file. So already scripting is written here. rc.local file, system administrator, you can write your own scripts here. See, no scripts here. You have to write your own scripts. Automatically at the time of booting, the scripts will run after execution of the system initialization files.
Okay, got it.
Okay, rc.sysinit is system automatically initialize that file. rc.local, you have to write your own scripts. This is next chapter is group management. What is group? A group is a collection of users who can share the files and other system resources. A group consists a group ID and a group name. If you go for any company, we have different groups: Java group, Oracle group, developers, managers, like that. Group IDs in Linux, RHEL 6 version, 0 to 99 system groups. Hundred to 499 daemon groups. Daemon is nothing but a background process. 500 to 60,000 user defined. User defined means system administrator can assign the group IDs from 500 to 60,000 at the time of we are creating the groups. Next, group IDs in RHEL 7, 0 to 999 system groups, 1000 to 60,000. User defined. So what is group? A group is a collection of users who can share the files and other system resources. A group consists of group ID and group name. Group IDs in RHEL 6, 0 to 99 system groups, 100 to 499 daemon groups, 500 to 60,000 user defined groups. Group IDs in RHEL 7, 0 to 999 system groups, 1000 to 60,000 user defined groups. To check the groups in Linux, the file you have to see cat etc group. So before going to create group accounts, if you want to check the existing groups, you can check the file cat space slash etc slash group. Next, to creating group accounts. Creating groups. So to create a group add space -g, group ID I am giving 550, group name I am giving DBA. To create a group, command is group add space -g, option for group ID. So group ID is 550 I given. You can give from 500 to 60,000 any ID. So group name is DBA. Again I am creating another group add, group name Java. See here, previous command I given the ID, next command I did not mention the ID, automatically it will take the highest ID. What is the ID is highest in a etc group file, next ID it will take. If you are not mention any group ID, automatically it will take highest ID. To check the groups, you can check the file cat slash etc slash group. So groups creation command is group add space -g, group ID, group name, group add space group name. If you not mention the ID, it will take the highest ID. To check the groups, file is cat space /etc/group. So here it shows the groups. DBA, just now we created. Java, also we created now. Both groups information it stores here. Next to assign a password to group, gpasswd group name. To assign a password to group, command is gpasswd space group name. Give the password. To assign a password to group, command is gpasswd space group name. Next, to check the group passwords information, you can check the file cat space /etc/gshadow. To check the group's passwords information, you can check the file cat space /etc/gshadow. Groups information located in etc group file. Group passwords information located in etc gshadow file. So this is the encrypted format. This is the group password that is encrypted. So Java group, we are not mention any password. Exclamatory means the password by default is locked.
Sir,
If you want
which one is the password, sir?
password, I given some single character D. You can give any password.
How to see that password? In that that password is not mentioned. No.
The passwords never show. It is encrypted format. See here. See here, no password for Java. Here exclamatory means password by default locked. I want to assign the password. Command is gpasswd group name Java. So it is asking password. I am typing password, but it will not show. In Windows, when you type the password, it will show stars here. It will not show the stars, hidden mode. I given the password now. Now check the Java entry. Now see password is affected. It is encrypted mode. Nobody can decrypt it. If you forget the password, again you can assign the password as an administrator. The password will not
Okay.
show you in text format. It is show you in the encrypted format.
Okay. So we cannot decode it.
Yeah, we cannot decrypt it. It is secured. Next, to modify the group ID, group mod -g 555. So 550 I given for DBA. Now I am modifying the group ID to 555. Now check grep DBA/etc/group. Now modified 555. Now to modify the group name, group mod -n, new name Oracle, old name is DBA. To modify the group name, command is group mod space -n, new name Oracle space old name DBA. So you can check the modified information etc group file. Cat space /etc/group. So group name modified, DBA from Oracle, DBA as Oracle, group ID modify from 550 to 555. Like that you can modify the group name and group ID. Next, to delete the group del space group name. to delete a group, group del space group name. Just I am showing the command to delete a group, group del space group name. Next, to check the errors in group file, grpck. So etc group file you can manually open and edit. If you do any mistake, it will show the mistake. grpck group check, it checks the errors in etc group file. Next to grpcon, it will update G shadow file by reading the information from group file. In any accidentally, if you remove G shadow, if it is corrupted, again you can create the file by using the command grpcon. grpcon, it updates /etc/G shadow file by reading the information from /etc/group file. So these are the commands in group. Just now we discussed group. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, by reading the information from
etc group file.
that grp conv, it updates /etc/g shadow by reading information from
/etc/group file.
Okay.
So group add commands we see in group mod, modifying the group accounts, group del, deleting the group, grpck. I am writing here, you can check. It checks the errors in /etc/group file, grpconv. It updates /etc/g shadow file by reading the information from /etc/group file. So these are the commands, files in group management. Just now we already seen, but we have to write /etc/group. It stores the information of groups. So interview point of view, you can explain group add, adding the groups, mod, modifying, group del, deleting groups. What is grpck? It checks the errors in etc group file. What is grpcon? It updates G shadow file by reading the information from etc group file. What is etc group file? It stores the information of groups. What is /etc/G shadow file? It contains group passwords information. Simply you have to explain in interviews. You have to remember all the things. Creating group, modifying groups, how to modify the group ID, how to modify the group name, how to delete the group, how to check the errors in etc group file. So how to update G shadow file. So where the group's information stores, where the group passwords information stores, like that they will ask the questions. So this is group management. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about user management, creating and managing the users in Linux, and password aging of users, and quotas of users, and monitoring of users. So next chapter tomorrow we are going to discuss about group user management. Okay, tomorrow we are going to log in. Okay, tomorrow user management, another important chapter in Linux.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Bye.